Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986, and today I want to talk about some dogs in a way that I had to do a little silent pause there for a second. Because what I'm going to say today, not a lot of people are really going to even understand, I think, what I'm going to say right now. What I want to say today is something that I speak a lot about with working with dogs, and that's making sure that you can advocate for your dogs. You can let your dogs know that you are that safety net for them. Let your dogs know that you are that prize that they need to pay attention to. But let your dogs know that you are going to get them out of the situations that they're in if they're uncomfortable, if they're nervous, if they're worried. That you are going to be that safety net for them. Something that I just keep on constantly saying over and over and over again. And I got an interesting comment on one of my videos that just really put a lot of thought in me about something that I know for a fact that I do. I do extra than what the basics that I'm talking about right now. I'll talk about the basics of what we all should be working with. I'm not going to come to you and come get you the extreme off-leash, crazy obedience looking, crazy nice, in any distraction, everything is good to go. Don't even think about that. Think about my dog is flipping out on leash around me, and worry about that and stop worrying about going anywhere next. And that's something that I think a lot of us get confused with, because there's something that I want to say right here, right now. Me, Mr. Mark DeBose, I don't ever want to show you some pristine, perfect looking stuff. I like it that all my animals, my dogs, are not performing perfectly every single time, because that's the reality of life, people. The more and more that I want you to listen to what I'm saying and see how I'm still, this dog is 5 years old. I've had him, if I would have got a new puppy today, it'd be different. But he's 5 years old. I've been with him since he's been 10 weeks old, and he's far from perfect. He's got his pushback, he's got his, don't worry about that. He's got his times that he just doesn't really 100% in tune listen to me. He has those times that he just looks at me and just says, you know what, I don't want to do that. I just don't care. And I've got this dog here that is essentially the same exact way. And I'm going to say that every single one of my dogs are like that. They're not always just, yes, sir, no, go do it, I'll get it done. I give them a sense of freedom, and I believe that that's why they listen to me, I'm going to say the majority of time. I'm not expecting them to be this perfect looking thing. And I think that that's what's confusing a lot of people when you're looking at dog trainers and you're seeing their stuff, because they're showing you these 20-second clips of the dogs doing pristine, perfect looking things. But that's just not real. So I want to show you what's real, that you're constantly going to keep on working on things. And you're going to constantly keep on having to figure out how to be able to get your dog into a better place and a better situation. And something that my shepherd on this property is different than when he's anywhere outside of being here. When he's off this property, he could literally be on the street, down the street, behind the gate, shut the gate. He's a completely different dog. But on this property, he acts a certain way. And he acts a certain way because of this dog here. Because this dog's confidence is built up to a point that he's extreme, and I need him to be. He's going to make sure that any threat out here is going to be taken away. And it doesn't even matter if that threat is something that I care about. And if it's a threat that's trying to threaten me, which is the unfortunate thing, that my shepherd that I brought him here, I was terrified of this dog. This dog bit so many people, and it was willing to bite, and it was willing to just destroy me. So I was scared. So his initial introduction of him is, I need to get this threat out of here. And I never, ever, ever want to take that from him, because that's what he's supposed to do. This is where I'm going to say there's a difference between some pet dogs and then some working dogs. My pet dogs, like this Johnny here, he is never, ever, 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 ever on guard, on duty, on patrol, on correcting other dogs, on disciplining other dogs, on any of that. He is to hang out and be chill and to be neutral and to just absolutely relax. But my working dogs, they better be ready to go to battle. They better know. I build their confidence so that they know that they are the toughest of the toughest of the toughest animal. And if I ever needed him to do something for me, I'm going to guarantee you this, that he is going to do something for me. He chews cows, he chews goats, he chews chickens. He could chew other dogs, and I know for a 100% fact that he could chew a human being if I needed him to do that. And that's the difference, where if you don't know what you're doing and you're working with pet dogs still, don't even think about worrying about stuff like this. The same way with my shepherd. Don't even think about worrying about what I'm about to say right now. But I just want to clarify some things so that everyone can have an understanding of the differences of what we're all out here doing. We all don't have the same desires. We all don't have the same needs. We all don't have the same just dreams, what we're looking for from our dogs. For me, I have dogs that need to do something for me to make sure that I'm going to be good to go. I have dogs to make sure that they have business they have to take care of. This boy here, my border collie, we don't really just snuggle and hang out, and I don't give him no treats, and I don't really interact with them, because he's got business he's got to take care of. When I'm out here doing my work, if I got a rooster that wants to come run up behind me right now, he's going to take care of it. If I got a donkey that decides to break out of the fence and come over here, he's going to take care of that. If I got a masked-looking murderer-looking man trying to run over here right now, he's going to take care of that. And I need him to do that. And that's something that he is capable of doing, and it's something that he's been taught since he was 10 weeks old, and that's something that's been taught to him through his gene line of his grandparents, great-grand, all the way back. That's just what this dog, Oreo, get down. Oreo, get down. That's just what this, come here, I know. Come here, get down. That's just what he's made to do. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what he was created to do. So I'm going to keep on utilizing and pushing that and convincing him to do that. And that's why he's going to always have a, say, true fulfilled life, because he's able to deal with those threats effectively, efficiently, and at the same time on his own. He doesn't need me to say anything, to do anything. He can take care of it all on his own. And that's something that I think a lot of people are confused with when you see certain, especially dog trainers on the YouTube stuff doing what they're doing. They're showing you their working dogs. And they're showing you what they're doing with them in a way that you're like, I want that as a pet dog owner. And you're getting confused because you're going to start using the techniques that person is using for their working dogs on their pet, on your pet dog, thinking that you're going to get like some results here. And there's something of that I'm going to say is very, very misleading about all this. But just because you can get a dog that's purposely bred to do something. So for instance, if I go into competition with this dog to show how to get I got to do this here soon, get a couple of cows inside of a trailer, this dog is going to do it absolutely phenomenal. And I don't need to do much to like get him to do that. And there's a lot of these dogs out here that a lot of these trainers are showing you that are purposely bred to do certain dog sports. And they're phenomenal at it. And they don't really even have to do too much work behind it. Yes, there's a skill, there's a learning skill. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get a pet dog to be able to listen to you. That doesn't mean that if you're really good at that those same techniques are going to work for you for a dog that you're trying to figure out how to be able to calm down. I never, ever, ever want to calm this dog down. I always want him to be extremely, extremely jazzed up, extremely excited, extremely just always on the go. I never calm him down. I never say, hey boy, just chill. My all done means just go off and go somewhere else and go handle something. That's why this is so hard for him to do, is just do this downstay, because this is foreign. Something new that I've been doing this past year from the 5 years that I've had him now that he's never done. And it's something that we're looking for in our working dogs, to keep them in an extreme, highly excitable state so that we can work them and doing what we're doing. And that's what my shepherd is all about. I am constantly keeping him in an excited, hideable state so that he can be on edge, on focus, doing what he needs to do. So for him, he is nervous when he sees this dog. He is never nervous when he sees any other dogs, because the reason behind that is he is way more tough. He is way more secure. He is way more together. He is way more with it than any dog that I've even still personally seen. I see other people talk about how strong the dogs are, but when an animal's running at it, they run away. An animal runs at this dog, he runs at it. He hears a noise in the dark in the woods, he runs at it. He never, ever, ever runs away. And I've just never seen another dog like that personally. I see dogs that think they're tough and act like they're tough, but they have to have a leash with the human behind them to be tough. This dog is just on his own. And for me, that's scary. And I was terrified of this dog when I first got him, seeing how much he has and the inexperience that I was about. But since I luckily got him for having job of working goats and working stuff around, it was super simple. I didn't really have too much to worry about. Whereas a lot of the dogs that are like him that I meet, I've said this before, they end up getting rehomed, and in reality, you can't rehome some of these if they're already at that point that they're biting people, because they have this desire to bite, and if you don't give them that function in the farm to be able to do it, it's on you, it's on your kids, it's on your other dogs, and they just have this, and it's really, really hard to like convince them not to do it, because it's something that they have to do, and it gets to a point that it starts to become dangerous. And a lot of people are looking at certain dogs and thinking, that's cool, that show looking stuff, it's neat, it's nice. But those dogs, in reality, at the end of the day, without being under the leadership and the guidance of that person that has that dog, is dangerous. That dog needs to be under that person's control. And what we're doing with these dogs, what I do with this dog, is not realistic for an average person to keep up with. What I do with my shepherd is far from realistic from what I would say like 99% of people are going to even consider to be capable of doing. Capable is a word that I would even use there. It's not a matter of walking them enough or walking them far enough or me just doing 12 to 20 miles a day with them every single day. That's just the start of it. All of the little things that I do every single day for the past 3 solid straight years, 4 or 5 hours a day of working with this dog to get him to do what I do. So when he's off property, he looks like this. He's the boss. And the reason that I purposely, not purposely, but I have the desire, because I got sick and tired one day of having dogs running up to me, barking in my face, lunging at me, trying to get at my dog. I just got sick and tired of it. And this isn't for everybody. And this is why I'm going to say, if you know what you're doing, go ahead and go at it. But this is something that's going to take year after year of explaining to that animal what you're looking for. So this is why for me personally, when I have my shepherd, I'm in public, this is going to be a very, very rare case, very rare. Once out of a month, I get a dog bark at me or bark at my dog. I very, very rarely ever have a dog ever lunging at me. I don't even remember the last time this has happened. Do they come up and run and try to circle him and nip him? Pretty much like once or twice a week. Do some of them actually try to get contact with them? Probably yes, once a month. It does happen. But what happens is he never responds with, I'm going to get you. He says, you got your first chance. And now if you try it again, I'm putting you down, is what my dog is stating. And I built his confidence to be that way. But I'm not going to build his confidence to be that way with this dog, because this dog is the one that protects me on my household. And it's something that is completely different. That this is my house, my place. When I'm out in public, I got a different dog that does that exact same thing. And this is stuff that I know a lot of people want, a lot of people are desiring. But as far as actually putting in the work that's going to be required to do that, just buckle up and get ready for all day, every day, spending excessive amount of time to be able to get that. And that's something that, like I said, pretty much nobody is willing to do. That's why there's a very few people on this planet that are just like the best at the sports and the stuff that they do. Where I'm going to say I'm really, really good at convincing my dog to how to move animals the way I need them to move. Not for show, not for competition, but to get stuff done. When I got a cow that's in my neighbor's field, I'll guarantee every single time he gets the job done, and I don't even care how it happens or how it looks, it gets done. He gets it to make it happen. Does he do it all fancy and go to the flank and do this flank and do it? No, he doesn't, but he gets the job done. If I got to get cows in a trailer, he gets the job done. Guaranteed. He always gets the job done. And that's what I need him to do. And I never want to make him think that he's not tough enough to do that. So I would never introduce him to thinking that he needs to be soft or he needs to be passive, he needs to be this. No, he knows who he is. And he knows that he's the boss out here. And I need him to be that way so that he can perform his job, because he's a working dog that's required to do that. I can't have him be soft. I can't have him be passive. He needs to, and every single day I'm constantly building this dude's confidence up, letting him know you tough, you strong, you're willing. But this is the thing. This is not for pretty much anybody. Because you're not going to be willing to take the time in to get that dog to be that way. So the main thing that everybody just needs to focus on is getting your dog to calm down from reacting at other dogs on leash. And for me, one thing I'm going to say right now is what I started to do with my shepherd to get him to start to get better and better, which is when I see that he's nervous, I just stopped. Once he stopped reacting on leash, I could put him anywhere, but I could see that he's stressed. I can see he'll hang out there, but I can see but he's antsy. He's got a dog barking in his face, and he's just like he's antsy. He's standing there. He's like, man, this is a lot. This is hard. This is much. So for me, I just got sick and tired of allowing him to just deal in it, and I said, let's do something different. So for me, when someone says, a lot of people do this actually, and I started doing this myself. When the trails are tight, where I walk, the trails are tight. Some of these trails are no more than 1.5 feet wide. And then it's way up cliffs or it's way down cliffs. So when you got a person coming at you, you coming and you got dog on dog, and you got a dog that's screaming and yelling at your face. You got your dog screaming and yelling at that dog's face. You kind of don't have a choice but to like try to just you got to make it pass. You got to do what you got to do. And this is the same as walking on a sidewalk, for instance. You got a dog on the front of you and a dog coming to you. What do you do? So for me, what I would first do is I would take a step off that sidewalk and I would walk, and then I would stay on that sidewalk. And that's something that would just continuously keep on getting into my dog's brain of realizing I don't have to like force myself in that. I can have a little bit of leniency. And that little bit of leniency, I would say a little bit of telling him it's okay, it started to really calm him down even more, as opposed to just making him deal in that stress. To me, I can get any dog to be able to hang out with me and stand and not react. But it's the mindset of that dog when they're in that situation that I'm personally just not comfortable with. If the dog is stressed in that situation, I'm going to do something to get them out of that stress. I'm not going to keep forcing him through it, because it's just who he is. It's just what they are. It's just what they're all about. And unless you know how to build the confidence in that dog and working on that over and over and over and over, you're going to have to put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to remove a little. You got to move, get a little arch, move a little, step off to the side and keep on walking. Don't step off to the side and stop, but step off to the side and keep on moving. And time after time after time, your dog's going to stop being any kind of stress and start to build its confidence of realizing, hey, everything is okay. But that's not something that is easy in reality at the end of the day to do. that as much as I can say a lot of this stuff is simple, this is why I'm going to continuously keep on saying, do not expect magical results in 2 or 3 days. You're going to be working on this for the remainder of the dog's life to be able to get it to being able to be in a good place. Unless you already got that dog that's like these 2 that are here with me. They have that in them, and some dogs are just good to go. But unfortunately, the main thing that I see today is majority of dogs are so anxious, just who their makeup, regardless of what human being is around, regardless of what human owns that dog. The dog itself is just anxious. It's nervous. It's worried. It's stressed. It's got all these fears. It just has it already in itself. That's why for me, like especially this border collie, I don't know what it is, but I'm all about breeding dogs and putting them outside. They should be born outside in a barn. They should be born outside in even a garage, worst case scenario, but born outside under something so they can see and be outside. And that's where he was born. That's where all of his family is born. And that's why, for me, I just have very good understanding why they're extremely confident, because they're socialized to the world before they even can see, before they can even hear, before they can even sniff the sniff. They're already socialized to the world. So they have no fears of the world. They've seen birds. They've seen this. They heard all the noises. They heard the chainsaws. They heard the mowers. They heard the cars. They heard the diesel trucks. They heard the buses. They heard all that before they're even 2 weeks old. And they're just surrounded themselves in that. But when we isolate them and put them inside of a house where now there's no sounds, but just, and then people are being even cautious, don't even run a vacuum cleaner, don't do this and don't do that. The dogs are not being socialized correctly. So that they have a start already where they're anxious, they're nervous, they're worried, they're unsure. So that dog in reality, as much as we can build that dog's confidence, it's pretty much, unfortunately, I'll straight up say it, just what I keep on seeing and what I keep on running into and what I keep on doing. The dog is that. And all we could do is to get that dog to be in a better place, and it's never going to be this extremely confident, knows it all, good to go, never reactive, never have an issue type dog. That's what we're going to keep on working on with that dog. And that's something that is to me, just something that the dogs that we get are the dogs that we needed. And that dog is going to be able to teach you something that you need to work on to be able to get yourself in a different situation. So for me, I got a dog that was just, it was bold, man. And it was something for me that I had to see about myself, about being able to get myself to understand something. Where I got other dogs that are super, super, super soft, super submissive. If I speak like I speak now, they just shut down. They just can't handle it. And no matter how much I put work into it, they just stay that way. That's just who they are. They can be better. They can be in the world. I don't have a dog personally that has ever been nervous that I'm out in public and the dog is barking and flipping out. But I can see that the dog is stressed. So when I see that they're not flipping out and they're stressed, I'm like, I want to get that stress out. So for me, I'm going to remove myself from that stress so the dog can be able to relax. That's just me looking at my dog saying, my dog, this is just him. But I'm never, ever, ever going to allow them to react at anybody. I'm never going to allow them to be able to growl or bark or do that to anybody. I'm never going to have them ever doing that. But once they get out of that, you'll start to see the real dog. Because when they're barking and lunging and doing all that crazy stuff, you don't see the real scaredness that's in that dog. All you see is a dog that looks tough, looks bold, looks courageous, and those looks are very, very deceiving. Because once they stop, you see the nervousness. And when I see that nervousness, I'm like, I want to help him out as much as I can to make him feel and know that this is okay. And for me, that's my number one go-to, is to get that dog off leash as fast as absolutely possible. So that dog, if it gets into this nervousness stance, it has the freedom. And even if it isn't a perfect heel next to me and we're walking next to another dog that's flipping out at it, it still in its mind has its freedom of knowing, hey, if I need to, I can get the heck out of here. I don't have to be here. I can leave if I want. And that's where day after day after day, that dog starts to understand. It builds its own confidence of realizing, if I need to, I can move, but I don't need to right now because I'm good, I'm fine. And that's what we want to build the dogs to be able to get to. So for me, the way that I've learned to be able to build the confidence up to be able to have a really, really nice dog is to get them off leash as absolutely fast as possible. But for most people, that's something that I wouldn't even think about that right this moment. I wouldn't even put that in my mind of even giving it an option of my dog being off leash, considering that it's lunging and wanting to react at every other or every 8th dog, or shoot, every dog even, and every person and every this. Don't even put that in your brain yet, because you're going to set yourself up for, in reality, what I just see is failure. You need to master where you are, and then once you got that real good, and then you start to pair up and see your dog and see who they really are, and then I can think like, okay, where do I want to go next? But if you start to think that you're going to start to fast track and start to skip these steps, you're going to mess up. And you're going to mess up to the point that you're going to put someone else in danger, someone else's dog in danger, or your own self in danger. And that's something that we don't need to be doing. because that's when things start to get close. I don't see too much of dogs trying to hurt dogs, but stuff happens. That when a dog is loaded and it lunges at the end of that leash and goes, and we're in close proximity, that dog may get a tooth and it may grab it and put it on my dog. And if it punctures my dog just good enough, it could end up being something that can rip some skin, that can rip something that can end up in a $4,000 or $5,000 surgery, that can end up in a lawsuit, that can end up in you being in a sticky situation because your dog is doing something that it shouldn't be doing, but it is because it's just what the dog is. It's an unfortunate thing of what's going on with these dogs today. They're just super, super nervous. They're not the confident dogs that just me that I'm seeing. You know, I don't know it all, but just stuff that I just see with these dogs. The more and more I keep working with, I do not see what I'm going to say is what a true dog is. They're so soft. They're so passive. And it's something for us as humans that have to build that dog's confidence to make it turn back into what I'm going to say is a dog. Every dog I work with, I'm trying my best to get them to look like my Johnny man back here. He's a regular hangout pet dog. He's a 3 mile a week type walking dog. He don't like no more than that. He likes to lay. He likes snacks. He likes to chill. He likes to just get pets. He likes to just relax the way that everyone's pet dogs like to. And he has this confidence behind him that is just him. And every dog that I'm looking at, I'm trying to figure out how to be able to match that confidence, to be able to be something like he is, that he just doesn't react to nothing. Absolutely zero. And on leash, off leash, anything, anywhere, any scenario, he's back there throwing up right now. He'd be all right. He just don't react to nothing. And that's something that I just don't see in most dogs today. I see extreme fear. I see extreme chaos. I see scaredness. And not all of that is on us as human beings that we're putting that on the dog, but just the dog themselves. But the dogs don't need to stay in that. We can get the dogs to be able to get in a better place. And that first starts with just having an understanding of what a leash is and using the leash to be able to get the dog to do what I need it to do. Because my working dogs, I do not use leashes on them to do what I need to do with them. I do not guide them. I do not even teach them. I do not do nothing with them. I put the expectation out, this is what I want from you, and then we just work on it every single day. And it's just boring of the routine of every single day being the exact same stuff, the exact same things, the exact same places, the exact same environment, the exact same looking dogs, the exact same everything. I do it every single day, over and over and over, and sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, over and over and over and over and over again. And I just keep doing it over and over and over again. I see a dog, I see the body language of that dog, I let my dog know what's going on, and every day. Why my dogs never run up to people on the trails when I'm walking? Because every single day, every single time, every single moment, for year after year, every time he saw a dog, I would call him back before he got those, the shepherds are cool. They'd just be walking, looking, and then he just got those ears up and he's looking at them. As soon as those ears went up, I'm like, Kahi here. Every single time. So some places, I'll go to places, there'll be 50 dogs that I see. 100 people that I would see, and it would be 100 recalls that I would do that day to get that dog to come back year after year after year. So doing 100 recalls every single day, month after month, year after year, there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of reps that I put into this dog to be able to do what it is he does today. And he's not on leash. He's off leash, and I trust him anywhere at all, anywhere I go. I don't care. He knows today not to be stressed if I put him in a perfect heel next to me, because he knows he's going to have that out later on to be able to get that stress out, which for him is sniffing and peeing and marking. The sniffing is his main jam that he has his stress relief with. But he's built that confidence because of thousands and thousands and thousands of reps of going and seeing and doing and being able to handle the same situations over and over and over again. And that's something that, like, again, not even average, this is going to extreme. This is going to the point where some of my dogs I work differently. I don't do the sits and the downs and the stays. I don't do that type of dog training work. I do the type of working dog work to be able to make my life better, to be able to have better success in my world so that I could be able to function and be able to move around this earth a whole lot easier for myself. Because a lot of people are, I'm telling you, you're looking for the same things that I'm looking for a lot of my animals. My dogs, I'm looking for a dog to be on this property to make sure that if somebody comes down that driveway, somebody tries to come onto my patio, that you're going to think twice about it. And that dog right there is going to do that for me. And this doesn't just show up without teaching them every single day, year after year after year, to get them to do such a thing. And to get them to not react and not respond and not care about anything. I don't care what's going on. Because my Kahi, all these dogs here too, a dog can be in his face, bark, rah, 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 because this happens. This happens. but it doesn't happen too much anymore. It's like very, very, very rare because of his energy that he puts out to the other dog. That's one thing that almost everybody says, like, oh, wow, my dog didn't react. Yes, because my dog is looking at your dog like, try it, buddy, or we're going to have an issue here. Because he's telling him, leave me alone, leave him alone, leave us alone. And then we move on. And then he's like, okay, we're good, we're fine. He kept doing that over and over and over and over again. But you do not just get that by just going for a 2-minute walk every single day and not knowing what to do every single step of the way of knowing how to handle this. This is going to the extremes of working with dogs. And I do that. But the simplicity that we are all looking for, I also have that. This guy, and I've got another pet dog that is just, she's so shy that now I talk like this, she gets so nervous. She gets so like, so in her feelings, like thinking I'm talking to her, talking about her or something. I am talking about her right now. But she's shut down is the words that I can use. And I see that in some people's dogs. And we build them up to let her know that's for me. And if I see that she's stressed because I talk like this or I move too fast, then I stop doing that or I stop bringing her around in that so she doesn't have to deal with that. She's like, I'd rather just go sleep on the bed in the house, man. And I'm like, cool, go do that. I don't want to have to put you through that stress. And as much as I can get her through that stress, I don't really care to at the end of the day. And that's the part where a lot of y'all are struggling, where you're trying to do stuff with your dog that you don't have realistic expectations on your dog. You're trying to get a dog that is terrified of everything and thinking in 2 weeks, I'm going to take it to the Home Depot and he should be walking around perfectly fine. That's not real. That's real when you put an excessive amount of pressure on the dog to make the dog know that bad things are going to happen if you mess up. Bad things are going to happen if you react. Bad things are going to happen to you. And I don't like that. I don't go that route. I don't care for that. And some of y'all, your dogs are dog park friendly. But some of y'all your dogs aren't there and don't even do it. Some of y'all dogs aren't ready to be around 50 dogs on leash and going places and doing stuff. You're not there yet. So stop trying to like think that I got to be there next weekend. Because these dogs, they don't work that fast. And that's what we as humans want today for some reason. We just want it, we want it right this moment. And it's just not going to happen this moment. So it's something that I think a lot of people really need to just really get a reality check. A working dog for a purpose. A working dog that is purpose-bred to do a purpose. A working dog that is being worked in its purpose-bred position to do. Stop thinking that you're going to have your dog looking and being like that compared to what a pet dog is that's inside of your home. And stop thinking that you are going to use the same techniques from those hardcore working dogs, from those dogs that need to get stuff done. And I will never, ever, ever show anyone to how to get your dog to be able to be better on leash by showing you stuff that this dog can do. It's not never, but it's just not going to work. You're going to be in mass confusion over and over and over again. And that's what I did to my shepherd the other day. I put him in confusion because he stares and he's telling him to get out of here. Let's keep this even, but I'm telling him no. So he's like, hold on, buddy. You've been telling me to do this, but now you're telling me not to do this. And that's where the unfortunate thing I see with a lot of German Shepherds is they're confused because they have that conflicting interest. You're telling them to guard, and then you're telling them not to guard. So he's like, you want me to, or you don't want me to? And then one time you want him to, then he's like, okay, you just told me to. So what's going on here? What's happening? What do you want me to do? And that's why for me, I don't mix the two. I make sure that I have one for one thing and one for another thing. I don't like mixing the two. And that's where, for me, I have lots of dogs. And I'm going to continue to keep on getting more and more dogs. I'm going to probably end up having over a dozen dogs at some point to do everything that I'm looking to do. And I need to get done to be able to simplify my life, to be able to make my life be an absolute breeze on this planet. I get to utilize these dogs, these cows, these chickens, these donkeys and horses soon, and all this stuff to be able to just enjoy life and live life and experience life rather than just, for me, just sitting and watching TV. I just don't do that. I'm going to get up and spend 4 hours walking a dog, working a dog, running a dog, moving animals with the dog. I'm going to spend 4 hours building a chicken coop. I'm going to spend this whole weekend is processing chickens over and over. I'm going to spend more of my time living and experiencing and doing stuff rather than just sitting down and just being passive, I guess I can say. I want to get up and live. And that's something that if you don't do that, you're not about that life. Stop thinking and watching what certain people, these dogs are doing, thinking that you want that, because these people are living with their dogs. They're living. I'm not talking about just sitting in your house and watching TV living with them. I'm talking doing consistent work 24/7 with their dogs. I have never left my dogs more than an entire day. I am with them all the time. I am interacting with them all the time. I am working them all the time. All the time. Even when I'm asleep, this dog is working with me. We're paired, we're doing stuff together. all the time, all day. It's a forever type situation. If I go to the store and I have him with me in the van and we're riding together, he is working that whole time. He is looking out the window, doing what I need him to do. He is helping me everywhere I go in every situation. This is something that you're integrating the dog to be in your whole world and not just part of it. And this is the problem that I'm going to see, that I get it because I speak like this, and that's how a lot of the crazy talk with all the treats only and this, because they look at dogs that way as well. But they look at them in a way thinking that because they are about their dogs that way, that they want to force you to be about the dogs that way. And I would never ever force anybody to do what I do with my dogs. And I never want you to think that you're going to have your dogs looking the way that certain ones of mine do. When people see me in public with them, when people see me around with them, when people see them doing what they're doing, do not think that you're going to have that unless you're willing to put in that 24/7 type work. And I'm not going to say to you, you have to do that, because if you don't, then you don't love dogs. And we got a whole push today that's like that, that's going on. That if you don't love and consume and do everything all day with your dogs, then you shouldn't even have the dog. That's foolishness to me. We are all individual to be able to do what we do. I would never, ever, ever expect someone to live the lifestyle that I live, saying that you have to this, or you're not going to be able to have any. That's not realistic. What is realistic is you just want to take your dog for a walk, around the block for half a mile. What's realistic is you want to get your dog to stop just barking and lunging and going crazy at other dogs and other people. What's realistic is you want your dog to stop barking inside of the house when you tell him to stop barking. You want your dog to stop running the fence and fence fighting every single person and every single thing and the wind in the backyard. You want your dog to stop doing these things. And to get your dog to stop doing these things comes down to very, very simple and easy techniques that you just keep on working on. But if you're looking to say to your dog, I want you to guard and protect, but then you're telling your dog, actually, right now I want you to be quiet, you're going to have conflicting interests going on here. Because that's a huge thing I noticed with my Pyrenees. He's like, whoa, there's a dog. But I'm like, it's too far. When the dog is here on property, yes, let's do something about it. And that starts to get very, very confusing to the dogs, where you're going to have to put an extreme. When this dog is barking at 2 o'clock in the morning, I mean, the first two, I'm still in it a little bit, but the first 2 years, every single time this dog barked, I would come out here with the flashlight to see, is a threat on my property, or are you just barking at something from who knows where? So it would be 5 times a night sometimes that I'm up out here, underwear and all, where's the threat? And then I'll say to him, no, all done, there's nothing to worry about. And every single time he barks, I would do that every single time to let him know, I only want you to bark, I only want you to guard, I only want you to protect when it's already here. If it's 4 miles away, I don't care. And that takes extreme work. And I can never look at him and say to him, hey, it's okay to bark now, but not this time when you got conflicting stuff going on. That's why a lot of y'all are struggling with people coming to your door. You're like, I don't want him to bark, but I do want him to bark. But I want him to bark only this much, but not this much. I want him to do this. You're giving confusing language to the dog. That's why if you live in a two-dog household, it's best to teach one dog to alert and another dog to be quiet. And then another dog, and you just swap it back and forth. Not with the dogs doing different roles each day, but just having one dog do one thing and then another dog not doing another thing, so that you can have the best of both worlds. But you cannot expect the dog to do both for you. And if you want your dog to guard, I can make videos about how to do such a thing. I can talk about how to do such a thing. But to do such a thing is not just simply getting your dog to know how to sit, getting your dog to know how to down, getting your dog to be on a place bed. That has nothing to do with creating what I'm going to say is a true protection guard dog. A dog that's going to be on edge, on alert when a real threat is there, and has zeroness to him when there's nothing going on. When there's nothing around me that's close, that's kind of on me, this dog is chill. He's super relaxed, he's super calm. But when there's even the hens that come around, there's too much to come on me. If the too much comes surround me, he's like, what's up, what's going on? He's ready, he's focused. When there's someone coming down the driveway, he's like, hey man, there's somebody here. And he has a specific bark that he lets out. It's not just, he just barks, and he's like, something's here. And he literally will come to the door and tap the door for me. I'm like, what's up, Aura, get down? I'll get down. And he to do that takes extreme amount of patience for one. Patience like no other patience. Because every single time that he barks, you have to get up and you have to look to see what's going on, to guide them what it is that we're looking for. Every time they alert, you have to be on guard yourself, looking at that dog of what's going on here, to be able to get them to get trained through that. But as far as getting your dog to just not flip out and not react and not guard, that's some simple stuff that we all need to start focusing majority of all of our time on. Because even still, if you can't get past that, don't even think about going to the next steps. But there's a lot of confusing language that you're giving to your dogs where you're asking them to protect and guard, but you're asking them to stop and shut up. And that's where I personally just believe that most people are having the most problems with their dogs. That's why you're not getting the reactiveness out of them, that they're still doing it and it's not going away. Or they're doing it where you're just not sure, like, why are they doing it now but not now? And why here and why here? It's getting better, but it's not better. Because deep inside of you, you're like, I want this dog to protect me. And that language is going to that dog. And then he does it. And then you're like, no, I don't want you to. The dog's like, okay, no, okay, not then. And then the next time you see something that you perceive as threat, you're communicating, I need you to do it again. And he's like, okay, I'll do it again. And you're like, no, that was too much, too far. Okay, it was too much, too far. And you're just going back and forth with this. And you're getting absolutely nowhere. You're getting nowhere because you're telling a dog to do both. And the dogs cannot handle that. They can only do one. And anybody can challenge me with that this dog is really good at moving animals and being a protector guard. That's why he can move the animals, because that's what they have inside of them to be able to protect and move and handle that. But he's not going to be a good sniff and search dog. He's not going to be good at agility at this moment if I have him working my cows and then have him try to do an agility course and be a professional at that. He's not going to be able to handle that. He's not going to be some trick training dog, being out there running and working cows and over here and being the best at winning competitions and trick training. He's only able to do one job, and one job really, really good. Now, if you want him to be just all right and mediocre, cool, maybe. But when it comes down to protecting and guarding, you do not ever want a mediocre dog. You're going to run into absolute danger. Absolute just danger, because that's how you feel with your dog on leash right now already. The dog is flipping out and you're just like, I don't know what's going on here. So you could see that your dog could potentially have it in it to actually do what it is you're asking for it to do. But yet you don't want them to do it because it's not the right place, not the right situation. And this takes, the word that I'm going to use here is not so much as training, but it takes patience and willingness. And it takes just dedication like absolute no other to teach these dogs how to be efficient at what it is if you want them to guard and protect. They don't just have that from their breed to just do that. You have to guide them and show them everything that you're looking for at every moment, every time, and never ever slip with having it's okay right now, but not okay right now. You have to always be the same, always have the same message, always have the same attitude, always have the same desires you're looking for, and always be on it every single time, 100% of the time, until the dog understands exactly what's going on. And this is something you're going to continue to keep on working on day after day, years and years and years and years and years. This is not, no, I'm going to get a protection dog in 3 weeks. No, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years that you're working on these dogs to get them to be really, really nice. And if you already have one that's already pretty nice, the other one's going to come on board and join and be good to go. That's why when I go in public now with my Dalmatian next to my Shepherd, he's showing her what the rules are. We're not chasing squirrels. That's pointless. We're not chasing dogs and barking at them and looking at them. That's pointless. We're on our mission. We got stuff we gotta do. We're not out here worrying about meeting every single person. That's pointless. We're not here to chase deer. We're not out here to sniff the whole world when we're on our job right now. We're here to get something done. And when we get this done, then we can go and do what we want to do. But we're still, when we do what we do, we're not going to be interacting with anybody. That's why for me, my Shepherd never ever meets another person, never meets another dog, never goes up to them, never even entertains them, never even gives them a look like, hey, please pet me. He is about his business, which is looking after me, looking after himself, looking after who's with me, and staying on track of what it is that he needs to get done. And that's something that is beautiful about a German Shepherd, because they are amazing at doing that. They are amazing at being able to just stay focused and stay on task. But they can only handle one task, and they can only handle one thing that they need to be focusing on. And if you try to do too much, that's where you're going to start to have problems. And you got to stay at that and stay at that and stay at that and stay and keep working and working and working and working and working hours and hours and hours and hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week. There's no time off. There's no relaxing. There's no I'm sick. There's no I'm too fat. There's no I'm hurting. There's no none of that. It's get out there and get it done every single day. There's no I'm too tired, it's raining outside. No, we're out there in the rain getting stuff done. It's constant. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people understand when they're seeing certain people's dogs, what they look like and what they're able to do and how they function and how they get stuff done. That you're seeing what I'm going to say is manipulation in a way that they're trying to tell you that you can have your dog looking and being like this, and it's not, and you're not finding any results. So that's why for me, I have conflicting interests go on with my shepherd being around this dog. I never want them to mingle. I never want them to play. I never want them to hang out. I never want them to even be cool with each other. I like it. This is going to sound messed up and get a lot of pushback on what I'm about to say. I like it that they like to fight each other and hurt each other. I like that. It lets me know that they both have that same intent to know what their job is, to know that they're good at their job, to know that they understand their job perfectly. Knowing that every time that those two dogs see each other, there's hostility going on, there's tension. The whole world can feel it when you see these two dogs next to each other. And I create that, and I want that, and I desire that, because that's what I need. For someone else, if you don't know what the heck you're doing, good luck. You're gonna have big, I'm not even gonna say good luck, don't do it, because you're gonna destroy something. You're gonna hurt, you're gonna end up in a huge jam, in a huge pickle. But I have things set up out here to be able to make sure that I can manage everything, keep everything good, and keep everything right. Because I have different needs for what I need. And I have different things that I'm testing and playing with my own self. You know, everyone's worried about all this chaos and all this war stuff and all this weird stuff. I'm making sure that I've got stuff to be able to protect me in all means necessary. Everyone's so worried about guns. I'm looking at dogs like, man, I can keep this dog on alert to make sure that if anything's going down, that I'm going to have a way heads up before anyone else knows, that I could keep myself safe. And at the same time, I got dogs like this shepherd. He's really good at hunting as well, going to find rabbits, going to find a chicken, going to find a deer. I can put him nose down, go find me some food, man. I'm hungry right now. And I'll break you off a piece once I get done cooking it. And that's what I have my dogs for different reasons. And I do a lot of experiments and a lot of stuff with. So if you see that my dog's got hostility, this is something that I do not recommend anybody doing unless you know what you're doing and you're willing to put in the time to do it. And that's something that is not easy. It's not easy. It's easy to get your dog to stop reacting at other dogs and to walk your dog by telling it to get off guard, get off alert, get off protection mode, and just hang out with me. That's easy. But to convince the dog to be in protection mode, this goes to dog training that in reality, there's no real good information out there how to even do such a thing. And it's very fascinating because I've been looking and trying to figure out and try to find it, and there's just no one that has real true. They got the sport stuff out there, but a sport dog isn't reality to me because they're too excitable in the wrong way. I want my dogs excitable, on focus, on me, on making sure that I'm good to go, not on a toy, not on a game, not on any of that, but in real life. And it's interesting that there is no information because I know why. These dogs are extremely expensive, $50, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 with constant weekly, monthly maintenance that you're going to continue to keep on doing training with over and over and over again. This is not no beginner's game stuff. This is for the people with the money, man, that are needing a real protection dog to keep them safe because they're a very valuable person. So for me, I'm doing a lot of work to figure out how to be able to get to that. That's my target market, getting dogs, real protection dogs, to be able to help people out to make sure that they stay safe. Real protection dogs so that on a farm, you can stay safe. How do I convince more and more border collies to do that, train them up so that I can get more farmers to have a dog like this? Because I've heard so many people getting ran down by cows, get ran down by horses even, get ran down by goats even, get ran down by roosters even. I've had roosters out here trying to attack me, and this dog keeps me safe of all of them. He is on duty, on edge all the time to make sure that I am safe out here. And it is an amazing thing to be able to utilize out here because I don't need to worry. I can walk around and do whatever I do without having to watch my back because I've been run up by my bull when I first got him many a times. I'm up there trying to build a new fence, got a T-post, not paying attention, and this dude running up on me. And this dude he's gone, he's at it. And I've seen this dude throw this 1,000-pound animal down on the ground, grabbed this ear and threw it on its ground. That's why that bull don't do it anymore, because he's terrified of this dog. That's why my donkey don't mess with me no more, because he's terrified of this dog. That's why this dog don't mess with me no more. He used to want to chew on me too, because he's terrified of this dog. Everything out here is terrified of this dog, and I need that to make sure that I'm safe. But that's not something that you just get overnight. You're going to continuously keep on working on. And that's the same thing I'm going to say with my shepherd. When I take him in public, I take him places, I am not worried at all about anything, any situation, anything coming up behind me, anything beside me, anything in front of me, anyone that's got harmful intentions on me. Anyone's dog that's got harmful intentions on me, that dog is going to handle my business all the time, because that's what he's supposed to do. And that's what he's there to do. And this takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot, so much that's why you go online right now and try to find a protection dog, not a sport dog, but a family protection dog, and see what the costs are. and see what these people are doing, and see how they'll show you the videos of how they act, and the dogs are chill. That's how my shepherd looks everywhere I go. He's chill. He's not on edge like, he's hanging out. He's like, what's up? What's up? How's it going? He look at people, he'd look away. He look at dog, he'd look away. He's like, what's up? We're just running. He's just doing what he's doing. But the second that something's going on, he hears me change, he hears something going on, he's like, what's up? What's going on with you now? And he knows, because day after day, thousands and thousands and thousands of reps, thousands of hours at this moment with working with him, he knows what his job is, and he knows what he's supposed to do. And that's something that, again, I would love to be able to teach people how to be able to do. But this is something that you want to be dedicated with working with dogs. You're serious about dogs. You're not out here to just learn how to get it to just go for a walk around the block. You want to learn how to be able to put your world into understanding dogs. You want to wake up and work a dog. You want to go to sleep working a dog. You want to take a lunch break working a dog. You want to get done with your lunch break to go back to working your dog. And that's what it's going to take to be able to get a really, really nice dog, to be able to understand how to do its true role. And then after a while, you don't have to work on it so much. But you're going to put a year, 2, 3, 4 years into it like that. And then you can finally just be able to relax a little bit. Don't have to be all on it all the time. But at first, it's excessive. It's almost a little overwhelming in reality. But it's a beautiful thing to be able to have once you're able to get there. And it's something that I want more people to just understand, that what you're looking for is not this elite looking dog. So you don't need some elite style training work to be able to get your dog to what you're looking for. A pet dog to just hang out, to just chill, to just be. And that's something that is simple and easy to do. But it's something still you have to get up every day and do something. Hey, Oreo, you leave him alone. Get down. There's something over there that you're able to do. Get down. But as far as trying to convince your dogs to be protective for you, there's something that I hear it from a lot of people, but you're not doing the work that's required to be able to get the dog there. And you're giving a dog conflicting interest by telling it to protect, but then telling it not to. And that's where my personal professional opinion of working with dogs and working with people and seeing stuff, that's why your dog is still reactive. Because deep down inside, I need you to bark. And then you're telling it not to. And then that confusion comes in, and then that dog starts to flip out even more because he's just frustrated. Thank you.